Right, Emma. So we're talking unconventional today, aren't we? And honestly, the first place folks get stuck is usually just picking a niche. They go for, health and fitness or make money online and then wonder why it's like shouting into a hurricane.
Yeah, exactly. It's so crowded. Like, how many lose weight fast blogs do we really need? I feel like people just kind of, well, they gravitate to what they see others doing, right? Like, oh, that's successful. I'll do that too. But that's kind of the definition of conventional, isn't it?
Precisely. What we need to do is dig deeper, far deeper. We're not looking for broad categories, we're looking for micro niches, often ones that seem almost absurdly specific at first glance. Think vintage typewriter restoration supplies instead of hobbies, or sustainable urban beekeeping equipment rather than just gardening. The thing is, Emma, these super specific, underserved pockets, they exist and they're gold mines.
Wow, okay. Sustainable urban beekeeping equipment is definitely not something I'd think of right away. So, like, how do you even start to uncover those? Because it feels like you almost need a crystal ball to find something that specific that also has like buying intent. Do you know what I mean?
It's not a crystal ball, Em. It's about observation and a bit of, well, lateral thinking. First off, I'd say immerse yourself in hobby forums, deep diving into subreddits that are really niche specific, Facebook groups that are, well, not the huge public ones, but the private, tight knit communities. Look for problems people are discussing constantly that don't have obvious, immediate solutions advertised everywhere. Are they asking, where can I find X? Or does anyone know a good Y for Z problem?
Oh, so you're looking for the gaps, essentially, like where people are expressing frustration or a need, but nobody's really stepping up to meet it specifically? That makes a lot of sense, actually. It's like finding pain points that aren't being addressed by the mainstream. And I guess because it's so specific, the competition is just naturally lower?
Absolutely, Emma. Lower competition, higher intent. When someone searches for parts for a 1970s Adler typewriter repair, they're not just browsing, are they? They're ready to buy. And the beauty is, often there are niche-specific merchants, even small family businesses who have affiliate programs. They're just not shouting about them on the big networks. You might have to reach out directly, but that's part of the unconventional game.
Okay, so finding these micro niches sounds super interesting, but once you've found one, like how do you actually get traffic to it without well, spending a fortune on ads in a really tiny market? Because traditional SEO can take ages. And if it's that niche, maybe the search volume isn't huge anyway, right?
Spot on, Emma. And this is where we pivot to truly unconventional traffic generation. Forget the big ad spend, forget just relying on Google. What we do is we identify micro influencers within these super specific niches, not the million follower types. Oh no, we're looking for the guru of vintage typewriter repair on YouTube with 5,000 incredibly engaged subscribers, or the queen of urban beekeeping with 3,000 followers on Instagram who absolutely hang on her every word.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. So instead of trying to reach everyone, you're targeting the people who are already plugged into that very specific community. And because they're micro, their rates are probably much more accessible, I guess.
Precisely. Their rates are accessible, and crucially, their audience is hyper engaged and trusts them implicitly. You're not just buying reach, you're buying authentic recommendation. A simple shout out and unboxing of a product or a review from a genuine authority in that niche can often convert far better than 100,000 impressions from a generic ad campaign. It's about deep trust, not just broad reach.
That's brilliant, actually. So it's like leveraging existing trusted voices rather than trying to build your own authority from scratch in like a super small pond. But beyond that, are there other ways to drive traffic without relying on like the usual suspects? Like, what about those forums you mentioned earlier?
Ah, yes, the forums and communities themselves become a potent traffic source, but you have to be savvy. This isn't about spamming links, absolutely not. It's about genuine contribution. Become a valued member, answer questions, offer advice, share genuine insights. Then, and only then, when it's genuinely relevant and helpful, you can gently, subtly introduce solutions that happen to be affiliate products or resources. It's about being an expert, a helper, not just a marketer.
So, like, instead of, hey, buy this, it's more like, I solved this problem for myself using X, and you might find it helpful too. It's building trust first, right? That makes so much sense because those communities really hate like blatant self-promotion. They'll just shut you down instantly.
Exactly. You're building social capital, Emma, and it takes time, but the traffic you get from these sources, it's often incredibly warm and pre-qualified. They already trust you. They've seen your value. Another unconventional one, consider creating highly specific free tools or resources for that niche. A calculator for, I don't know, optimal beehive placement, or a troubleshooting guide for vintage typewriter issues. Offer it for free, collect emails, and then gently guide them towards your affiliate recommendations.
Okay, so we've found these hidden niches and we're getting super targeted traffic using like micro influencers and community engagement. Now, the big question, James, is how do you actually get these super engaged people to convert? Like, what's an unconventional way to boost conversions beyond, just a regular product review?
Right, Emma. Conversion. This is where most people still think very linearly. Product review, buy now button, done. We're going to talk about something I call the oblique offer. Instead of directly pushing the product, you position the product as the solution to a problem they didn't even realize they had, or as the key to an aspiration they hadn't fully articulated.
Ooh, that sounds sneaky, but in a good way. Like giving them the aha moment that connects them to the product. So instead of saying, here's a new honey extractor, it's more like, are your bees stressed? This new extractor design actually reduces disturbance and boosts yield.
Precisely. It's about framing. It's not just about what the product is, but what it does for their deeper needs. You're tapping into their underlying motivations. Perhaps for the typewriter restorer, it's not just a new cleaning solution, it's the secret to preserving a piece of history, to connecting with a simpler time. You appeal to their emotional investment, their identity within that niche. It's really powerful because it bypasses the purely logical, do I need this thought process, and appeals to a deeper sense of self-fulfillment.
That's fascinating. So it's like selling the transformation or the feeling rather than just the features. Are there any other unconventional psychological triggers you use to nudge people towards that decision? Because, people can be hesitant even if they're super interested.
Oh, absolutely. Beyond the oblique offer, we lean heavily into unconventional scarcity and social proof. Now, everyone knows limited time offer, right? But in a micro niche, you can use authentic scarcity. For example, if you're promoting a unique handcrafted tool made by a small artisan, you highlight the genuine limited production capacity. It's not a marketing gimmick, it's a real constraint. People in these niches appreciate craftsmanship and exclusivity.
Oh, so it's not like this deal ends in 24 hours. It's more like this artisan only makes 20 of these a month. That feels much more genuine and probably more effective for that kind of audience who really appreciate the niche nature of things.
Exactly. And for social proof, instead of just saying 5-star reviews, you showcase highly specific testimonials from recognizable experts or respected community members within that niche. Someone might not care what a generic customer thinks, but if the grand master of vintage typewriter restoration endorses a product, that carries immense weight. You're leveraging the existing hierarchy and trust within the community, Emma. It's very, very effective.
So we're finding these amazing niches, driving super targeted traffic, and then converting them with these really smart psychological approaches. But what about building something sustainable, James? Because, relying on just one-off sales or even a few influencers feels a bit fragile, maybe?
Absolutely right, Emma. And this is where the long-term asset building comes in. Most affiliates focus purely on the immediate commission. We take a different approach. We build authority platforms within that micro niche. This means creating comprehensive, evergreen resources that become the go-to guide for anything related to that niche.
Okay, so like a super detailed blog or a YouTube channel, but specifically for that tiny niche. So if someone's searching for, I don't know, troubleshooting guide for a 1920s Royal Standard typewriter, they land on your site?
Precisely. Your site becomes the ultimate resource. You invest in creating the definitive guides, troubleshooting manuals, comparison charts, content that genuinely helps people in that niche, even if it doesn't immediately lead to a sale. You build an email list of hyper-engaged enthusiasts. You create a community hub, maybe a private forum or Discord server. These aren't quick wins, Emma, but they build an audience that trusts you implicitly, an audience you own, rather than renting it from social media algorithms. That is true long-term wealth in affiliate marketing.
That's a huge shift from just like chasing the next trending product. So you're building a real brand essentially within a very specific space. But then once you have this authoritative platform and loyal audience, how do you scale that ethically? Like without losing that trust or diluting the niche's integrity?
Excellent question, Em. Ethical scaling is paramount. First, you only recommend products and services that you've genuinely vetted and believe in. That trust is your most valuable asset. Second, you look for complementary micro-niches. So if you've dominated vintage typewriters, perhaps you expand into vintage fountain pens or antique desk accessories. It's a natural, logical progression for your existing audience, not a sudden random jump.
So it's not like you suddenly start selling dog food just because you've got a big audience interested in typewriters. You stick to what makes sense for them and for your own expertise.
Exactly, and you continue to provide immense value for free. Your content remains top tier. You could also explore creating your own products for that niche once you understand their needs intimately. Perhaps a unique tool that doesn't exist, or a comprehensive course. That provides another revenue stream and strengthens your authority even further. The goal is to become indispensable to that micro community, ensuring that no matter what changes in the broader marketing landscape, your niche empire built on trust and value remains robust and profitable. It's about building a legacy, not just making a quick buck, Emma.